Today, this is the third part of the animating of the dynamic action scene. Previously, you saw that I animated the keyframes very rough, and now I'm going to be adding a little bit more detail to all the keyframes. A lot of the times, animators can go straight from rough to clean on animations. For myself, I like to add a second layer of still rough, but a little bit more detail. It gives me a better idea of what the scene should look like once I get it cleaned out. I add a little bit more detail, like lines in the muscles, a little bit more refining of the shapes and volumes, and I add some clothing. And for this one, I'm only adding pants. I'm not going to focus too much on any of the other types of clothing. I just want to focus on the movements in general. Here, while I'm adding a little bit more volume and detail to this hand, I am repositioning it a little bit, as it seems to make more sense to move out a little bit from the body and connect it to the shoulder in a correct way. I'm giving him some general facial features because I want to animate his face a little bit too. Gives it a little bit more emotion. For this, he's pretty serious, and eventually I'm going to add kind of a silly face. That's just my personality. I like the idea of somebody kind of being a little bit cocky, and when they're getting ready to do their amazing thing, they have this weird face going on here. I think it just adds to the personality. I'm adding lines for the knuckles, for the creases in the hands, but I'm not getting too detailed. These are all just more or less place markers for a better idea of when I get to the super cleaning mode. The first pass is nothing but volume and shape. The second pass will be a little bit of more detail, add the muscle structure, and the third pass will be to clean up the lines and add even a little bit more muscle structure and a little bit more detail in the face. I kind of refine the dirt a little bit too. The dirt's pretty simple. Most of what the dirt is going to be in the end will be colored and shadowed and highlighted. That's where the texture will come in. For right now, I'm just going to focus on the very basic line structure of the dirt into the ground. The main idea is to get the movements down so that your eye can catch it, and you will notice that each frame isn't even held for too long, so you won't notice too much. When the character is moving fast, there's no need for a lot of detail. You won't see it anyway. Or when the character is zoomed out pretty far, like here. Once it is colored, you will see that the hand is fully submerged into the ground instead of seeing the whole hand. I'm a big fan of camera underneath the face positions. It gives the character a sign of importance, strength, and his face features right now is kind of insane, crazy looking. If I were to continue this animation even after I finish cleaning up all the in-betweens, I would add hair and perhaps other kind of accents of clothing. But this is important for me to just show kind of the muscle structure, and I want to keep him shirtless. It allows me to think a little bit better about how his muscles move and how his body moves. I could, however, animate a shirt over him. Everything that I add on top of him would have to be considered a secondary animation movement. So after I am done animating him, if I did have a shirt on him, I would have to think about how the shirt would move behind his movements and be delayed. the lips on his face didn't seem like it was in the right position, so I pulled it out a little bit. And also I added a little bit more details in refining the muscles. It will help later on when I have the muscles flexing. It'll add a little bit more of movement. Your eye will catch what his body is trying to do. This is the process in which I also add blurring lines. Also, I utilize a timing chart only as a reference. I'm not using it 100% as a solid guide. I know that things will be adjusted and changed for the betterment of the movement once I play it. There are just certain things that you can't catch unless you watch it. I used the chart in the first place to kind of map out the general idea of the slow in, slow out of him leaning forward. But in the end, I decided that there was things that was taking too long, and so I had to adjust the timing. This has been Pixel Nomad. Thank you for watching, and please hit that like and subscribe to see my further continuations of this video and other animations and other drawings. Thank you for watching.